So you're a new trustee. What do beneficiaries really need to know? If you've recently become a trustee, there's a good chance that someone has already asked you, so when am I getting my inheritance? And if you don't have an answer yet, you may not know what to say. You may be thinking, I'm still trying to figure everything out myself. I haven't read the documents. That's okay. But here's the problem. When beneficiaries don't have information, they often fill in the blanks themselves. And that's where anxiety, misunderstanding, and family conflict can begin. So, today, as part of the first 30 days as a trustee video series, we're going to talk about what beneficiaries need from you and what they don't. Hi, I'm Laura with Trustee Guidance, and I help first time trustees navigate the practical side of trust administration, the things that happen between the legal meetings. Like and subscribe if you find value here. Today, we're going to talk about some practical ways to communicate without promising anything, giving out information that you shouldn't, or creating unnecessary family drama. Now, one of the biggest challenges I hear from trustees is beneficiary communication is a problem or they're struggling with it. But here's the thing. You may be grieving too. You may have lost a parent or another person you love. And while you're trying to process that loss, you suddenly have people coming at you asking a bunch of questions like, what's in the trust? When do I get my money? What's happening with the house? Have you talked to the attorney yet? Why haven't I heard anything? And sometimes those questions are completely reasonable, and sometimes they're coming from fear, and sometimes they're just coming from a place of impatience. So here's a trustee truth. Your job isn't to make everyone happy. Your job is to administer the trust properly. And good communication can make that job much easier. So let's understand what beneficiaries are really asking. One of the most important things I've learned is that the real concern under the question is often different. Beneficiaries may ask, when am I getting my money? But what they're really asking is, am I going to be okay? Is my inheritance safe? Or what's happening? No one's telling me anything. Or maybe they're just simply anxious because they have no idea how long the trust administration process really takes. Now, that doesn't mean you have to give them the answer they're hoping for, but it does mean that you can acknowledge their concerns. You might say something like, I understand you're wondering about the timing. I'm still gathering information and working with all the professionals. I don't have a distribution date yet, but I'll let you know when I have more information. You didn't promise anything in concrete. You didn't give them information that you don't have, but you also didn't ignore them. You're acknowledging their concerns. Now, don't promise a distribution date. This is the one I really want new trustees to hear because it can really come back to bite you. Don't promise beneficiaries a distribution date until you know you can meet it. And that's usually you're talking to your CPA, your attorney in depth, and they're giving you those dates. It's very tempting when someone asks, do you think I'll have the money by Christmas? And you think, well, maybe. And you say, I think so. And then Christmas comes and for some reason, the money can't be distributed. Now you've disappointed the beneficiary who remembers that you promised them something. Instead, use language like, I don't have a firm timeline yet. We're still working through all the unpaid bills. There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know yet. In fact, sometimes that's the most responsible answer you can give. You don't get extra points for having an answer before you actually have one. So, first of all, don't go silent with the beneficiaries. Don't ghost anybody. Now, let's talk about the opposite problem. You've got a lot going on. You're waiting for information. The attorney hasn't finished something. The CPA is working on the tax side. You're gathering documents and you think, I'll contact everyone when I have something important to report. And that's understandable. But silence can create a completely different problem. Ghosting people, it won't work out well. And people don't know what's happening and they start guessing. And those guesses aren't always accurate. And they start talking to each other. And then you have a group of people guessing. A simple update can prevent all that. For example, you could say something like, we're still gathering the financial information and working through the next steps. I don't have a distribution date yet, but I wanted you to know the process is moving forward. I'll share another update when I have something confirmed and concrete. And that's it. Doesn't have to be a 5-page email. You don't need to over explain. You're just giving them some information, an update that you just don't have all the answers yet. Now, keep in mind that you don't have to answer every question immediately. Here's another important lesson. Beneficiaries may ask you questions you simply cannot answer yet. They may ask questions that require legal or tax advice. You don't have to guess. You don't have to become the attorney because you're not. You've hired those professionals. So try something like a good response is, that's a good question. I want to make sure I give you accurate information. So I'm going to check with the appropriate professionals, or I'm going to check with the attorney and get back to you. And remember, you can be transparent without being careless. There's a difference between keeping beneficiaries informed and sharing every piece of information the moment you receive it. Your attorney can help you understand what's required or what's permitted to disclose. And when in doubt, ask the attorney, ask the professionals. That is what they're there for. So the other thing you need to understand is to treat communication as part of your trustee job. You want to think about communication differently. It's not something that you do in reaction when someone gets upset or when someone asks a question. It's part of administrating the trust. Keep a simple system. So keep a list of beneficiaries and their contact information. Keep track of important communications. Save copies of significant emails or letters back and forth between you and the beneficiaries. Make notes about important conversations. And when appropriate, create a simple update schedule so communication doesn't become something you only do when somebody calls asking, hey, what's going on? Now, you don't need to be available 24 hours a day. You don't need to respond instantly. You don't need to give everyone everything. But you do need to communicate thoughtfully, and you need to have a system so you're communicating regularly, whether you have information or not. So if you remember one thing from this video, remember this. You are not responsible for making beneficiaries happy. You are responsible for administrating the trust properly. That's your legal duty. And those are two very different things. Don't let someone else's urgency become your emergency. So if you're in the first few weeks as a trustee, or you know someone who is, I created something special for you. It's called the First 30 Days as a Trustee Starter Kit. It's completely free. It walks you through what to focus on day by day, so you don't have to wonder if you're forgetting something. You'll find the link below in the description. And if you found this helpful, like and subscribe. For the next several weeks, we're walking through the first 30 days as a trustee, one practical step at a time. So remember, learn more, be better, be prepared, and I'll see you next week.